You know that feeling when you're watching a movie with a split screen?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
On one side, it's like this tense, calculated, diplomatic negotiation happening in a quiet room. And on the other side, just an absolute blockbuster action sequence full of explosions.
Right. It's completely disorienting.
Exactly. And I mean, that is exactly the vibe of the geopolitical landscape right now. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the absolute chaos of recent U.S.-Iran military escalations.
Yeah, and we're specifically using a really detailed breakdown from the Midas Touch network to help unpack this.
Right. And fair warning to you up front.
Right.
This source leans heavily into some very partisan, politically charged territory.
It does. And we need to be clear that we aren't here to take sides or, endorse anyone's politics.
Exactly. We are just going to impartially dissect these claims to show you exactly how modern war narratives are built.
And, well, that narrative really starts with some incredibly loud public threats. I mean, on Easter Sunday, the president fired off these social media posts threatening to destroy Iranian bridges and power plants.
Unless the Strait of Hormuz was opened.
Right. Which is just a massive trigger. I mean, threatening the Strait of Hormuz is an instant recipe for global market panic.
Because it's the choke point for, what, a fifth of the world's oil?
Exactly. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, and what's wild to me is how the deadlines for this ultimatum just kept shifting around.
Oh, totally.
Like first it was 10 days, then 48 hours, and then suddenly sliding to right before the markets open on Monday. It's like a high-stakes poker game.
Yeah, but a poker game where both players are yelling entirely different rules to the audience.
Right, because Iran is countering with a totally different set of demands. They want full reparations, permanent security guarantees for their regional allies, and a complete U.S. withdrawal from Middle East bases.
So the U.S. seems to be playing for domestic cable news ratings, while Iran is playing for long-term territorial control.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Are these public threats actual diplomatic strategy, or is it just noise?
Well, the rhetoric is a tool. But because there's such a massive disconnect between the public shouting and the diplomatic demands, we have to look past the microphones and see what's actually happening on the ground.
Right, but the battlefield is completely shrouded in the fog of war right now. Take that rescue mission for the downed U.S. F-15E pilot deep inside Iran.
Yeah, the U.S. military claims that was a flawless success.
But then you have Iranian officials claiming the U.S. actually lost like 6 to 10 major aircraft during that exact same mission.
Right, and they're claiming that includes massive MC-130J transport planes and Reaper drones.
Wait, really? That's a huge discrepancy?
It is. And alongside those conflicting reports, we're seeing this massive flurry of regional strikes.
Like Iranian ballistic missiles allegedly hitting Haifa.
Yes, and strikes on an Israeli chemical hub, plus an attack on a Bahrain oil facility.
Oh, and some reports claim that Bahrain facility was accidentally hit by a misfiring American Patriot missile, right?
Yeah, a missile that was actually meant to protect it.
Which is crazy. But hitting an oil facility in Bahrain, that's not just about blowing up a building. It's a calculated move to spike global oil prices and pressure U.S. allies economically.
Exactly, all without directly engaging U.S. troops.
But, okay, here's where I have to push back a bit on the information we're getting. Are we really relying on tweets from Iran's parliament leader?
The ones with the hand clap emojis.
Yeah. Like using those to confirm the loss of multiple $100 million U.S. aircraft. Is that actually reliable, or is it just trolling?
Well, from a strict military standpoint,
Right.
highly unreliable.
Right, obviously.
But from an information warfare standpoint, reliability almost doesn't matter. By the time the U.S. issues a formal denial, Iran has already won the news cycle for the day.
Because this tactic thrives in the dark.
Exactly. The U.S. reportedly ordered commercial satellite firms to withhold their proprietary imagery of the region. So when independent verification goes dark, combatants immediately fill the void.
So if the battlefield is entirely clouded by contradictory claims and satellite blackouts, who actually decides what the public believes?
That brings us right to the media's role. This analysis is really critical of outlets like the New York Times and CNN for engaging in what they call sane washing.
Sane washing, meaning like the media habit of taking a politician's incoherent or extreme statements and just rewriting them to sound rational.
Right, making them sound like standard foreign policy. And as Senator Tim Kaine pointed out, that filtering is dangerous.
Because it masks reality, right?
Exactly. He argued that the administration's juvenile bluster is actually a smokescreen hiding the absence of a clear strategy.
A failure to build alliances, and just the deep unpopularity of the conflict in general.
Yeah, so it really proves that understanding the framing is just as important as the facts.
It does. I mean, I have to ask you, the listener, if every network applies a completely different lens to the exact same military event, how do you actually find the baseline truth?
Well, you start by recognizing the game being played.
Mhm.
In modern conflict, the actual physical military strike is almost secondary.
Yeah, because the real weapon is how quickly you can meme that strike into a global market panic or a political victory.
Right.
And that's exactly why parsing through political spin and understanding how narratives are constructed is just an essential survival skill for staying truly informed right now.
Absolutely.
It leaves you with a really big question to mull over. If a single social media post can instantly manipulate global markets and international diplomacy,
Yeah.
has the modern theater of war fundamentally shifted from the physical battlefield to the digital timeline?